Okay, well, here with me in the studio is Douglas Yates, Professor of Political Science at the American Graduate School, and also the author of numerous publications on African politics and natural resources. Thank you for joining us again, Professor Yates. Great to have you with us. What's your understanding of President Macky Sall's thinking here? Why is he doing this? Why is he talking about delaying the election?
Right. So there's the official pretext, but I don't think anybody believes them. That there was a problem with the constitution of the Constitutional Court, that he wanted to make sure the court was seen as unbiased. But here, there's nothing but a perception of bias. So if that was his idea, it was a failure. Rather, the reports that are coming out from kind of the behind-the-scenes press is that there's pressure from his own camp. From his own camp, from the ruling party, they don't want the prime minister to be the candidate. The prime minister is a talented, technocratic individual who is supposed to be number two for Macky Sall. But as a candidate, he's a fish, and he's predicted to lose. And if he loses, the party loses. Whoever is president has all the power in Senegal. And so I think that at the last minute, his own ministers are saying, you can't continue to endorse this man who's going to lose. We've got to have a better plan or we're going to lose power. And I think he's not planning himself to run for president anymore. If he had announced that, this would all be interpreted differently. But he probably does want his party to remain in power.
Right, because Macky Sall's been there for 11 years. He can't constitutionally run for a third term, can he? And therefore, you're saying that the party's trying to buy some time to find a more promising candidate than what they've put forward so far. So in terms of time frame, what are we talking about here? A couple of months of delay? More than that?
Well, there was no announcement at first. We called it sine die. But in reality, he's not trying to, like a coup plotter, prolong his time forever. So we're looking at maybe August. That would be reasonable. 6 months would give them time to sort out what's internal divisions in his own camp, as well as dealing with the opposition, who many of them are taking to the streets.
And of course, Senegal is a rare country in the region where it is in West Africa. There have been lots of coups in that part of Africa. And yet Senegal, since independence from France in, I believe, 1960, has managed not to witness any coups. I mean, could that be about to change?
Well, some people are afraid of that, and it's a real concern because we've had coups in Mali, coups in Burkina Faso, coups in Niger, coups in Guinea, and in Central Africa, coups in Gabon. There's been coups all around, but Senegal is unique. It's had 3 peaceful transitions of power. 1982, Abdou Diouf came to power in a peaceful transition. After that, 1999, we had Abdoulaye Wade came to power in a peaceful transition. And in 2012, Macky Sall came to power in a peaceful transition. That's 3 turnovers. Senegal is a consolidated democracy. Elections are the only game in town. So I strongly do not believe, if the past is any indicator, that there will be a coup d'etat in Senegal. Rather, things will calm down and there will be elected a new president.
Okay, so you sound quite optimistic this will blow over. What are Senegal's allies, meanwhile, saying at this stage? And by that, I mean the African Union and the European Union?
And the United States.
And the United States.
This country as a model of democracy is an extremely important example for the West. For France, it's one of the most democratic Francophone countries left standing. For the United States, the American presidents visit Senegal because it is a model of democracy. For Europe, once again, it gives them a plausible interlocutor. And for ECOWAS, who have literally lost 3 members, military coups who are now Russian allies, who they had no influence over, Senegal is kind of the strongest democracy in the group. So they have a very difficult time telling Macky Sall what to do. In addition, because he is not presenting himself for office. So they're trying to encourage Senegal to schedule elections, but I don't think they think this is going to be like a military regime that's clinging to power. A few more months, and we should expect to have elections, and after that, a new president democratically elected, either from the government or from the opposition.
Okay, and just lastly, we haven't got much time left. Macky Sall's report card. He's been there 11 years. Has he done a good job?
My view is economically, he did a good job. That is, he's created economic growth. He's dealt with serious issues like the food crisis. He managed COVID during confinement. And he's also brought Senegal into a new sector, which is oil, a dangerous sector with an oil curse, but one which provides the government with revenues to do on social spending. He created gender parity in the legislature. He appointed the first female prime minister. If he had not thought of running for a third term, he probably now would be watching his endorsed successor take office and would have enjoyed a wonderful reputation with policy accomplishments. But he made the critical error of the temptation of power.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for sharing that with us. Professor Douglas Yates, great to have you here with us again on France 24.